Hey guys, Phoenix here, thanks for joining us, I hope you're all well. Today we're going to be reviewing Assassin's Creed Valhalla, the latest in the open world RPG series by Ubisoft Montreal, so let's check it out. In Assassin's Creed Valhalla, you play as Eivor, a Viking who, along with his brother Sigurd and their clan, travel from Norway across the open seas to England in an attempt to find a place to settle down. When they arrive, they're met with a lot of hostility from the locals, and it will be down to you to forge alliances with the various factions that are all fighting independently for control of the Four Kingdoms. It's a fluid and dynamic story that fits perfectly within the Assassin's Creed franchise, and your actions will have real consequences in shaping the game world.
Kent's new ealdorman will be Thane Tedmund.
Tedmund? Oh, the Lord is testing me. He is made mouse by you Danes. Barely leaves his fortress at Roosister.
The music in this game fits the theme perfectly, and could have come straight from a Viking playbook. From the soft mellow tones as you're travelling across the English countryside on horseback, to a kick in tempo and volume the minute a battle breaks out. This is especially true during raid events, where sound effects play an equally crucial role. From the clashing of sword on shield, to the war cries of your clanmates invading the nearby monastery, to people running and screaming in terror as their houses burn down, it all brings the game world to life. Some of the graphics in this game are truly breathtaking, and it's easy to become distracted by the scenery as you travel through a world that's so vibrant, rich with colour and full of life. The level of detail on the characters is amazing and truly a high point for the series, along with the impressive facial animations on the main characters that really inject a level of emotion into the storytelling. That being said, some of the NPCs and side characters can seem a little wooden, and this could do with improvement.
Norway, the settlement looks quite festive.
The Yule celebration is here! It's midwinter, Eivor. Time to drink, fight, and compete in hopes of a bounteous harvest.
The controls in this game are pretty straightforward, and anyone who's played the last two Assassin's Creed games will know exactly what they need to do, considering not a lot has changed. However, players new to the series might find that there's a small learning curve they've got to get to grips with. It has got to be said, this game is huge. The game world that Ubisoft has created is massive and full of things to do. The storyline itself takes a fair while to complete. I'm about 70 hours in and feel like I'm still only 2/3 of the way through. There's so many side quests and minigames to keep you busy that are so varied it's highly unlikely that you'll ever get bored. My favourite was Orlog, which is a kind of Viking dice battling game. I found myself playing that one a fair bit. The game gives you plenty of reason to explore, not just because it looks so good, but so that you can enhance your character too. The usual RPG skill tree is present, but the upgrades you gain here only serve to enhance your pre-existing abilities. New abilities can be learned by collecting books of knowledge that are hidden across England. In terms of loot, gone are the days of having 50 plus iron swords that are next to bloody useless like in Odyssey. Instead, each weapon you find in Valhalla is different to the next, which gives you an opportunity to find a weapon that suits your playstyle and stick with it throughout your playthrough. Special metal ingots and runes can be found scattered throughout the world as well, that allow you to upgrade your equipment further in order to increase your power level. Raiding, as Vikings did, was one of the more entertaining aspects of this game. Attacking a monastery with your clan's assistance is so much fun. Completing a raid will reward you with supplies and resources that you can use to build and upgrade your settlement. Unfortunately, the settlement building activity is where Valhalla falls short for me. At first, it seemed like a welcome addition to the game, but after a while I found myself only returning home to restock, resupply and plan for my next outing, rather than spending any meaningful time here. As a new game, Assassin's Creed Valhalla isn't perfect, and during my playthrough I encountered a fair amount of bugs and glitches. While some of these were quite funny, such as a sheep who chose to pull a Superman and take off into the sky for no apparent reason, and an enemy soldier who in the midst of battle started running circles around me as if we were playing Ring Around a Rosie, others were not so fun, and one resulted in me having to reload my game multiple times in order to complete a quest just because the NPC following me appeared to superglue himself to the scenery.
Come, help me with this.
Bugs aside, I love the world that's been built here. It's exactly what you'd hope for from an open world RPG, but not so much what you'd expect from this particular franchise. If I'm honest, there were a number of times I forgot it was an Assassin's Creed game, as I felt like it had more in common with The Witcher. However, in its own right, it's still a great game regardless.
Please, I'll beg you. How many are there? I must know.
How many what?
The stones. Every time I count them, the answer is different. First 20, then 21. The fair folk made a madman of me.
I'd give this game a solid 8.5 out of 10. The game is a lot of fun and there's plenty to keep you going. Where the game falls down though is that for the first few hours combat seems a little simple and not as fluid and fun as it could be until you find some of the books of knowledge. In my opinion, where it fails at being an Assassin's Creed game, it more than makes up for by being an incredible open world RPG in its own right. There are some nods to previous Assassin's Creed games, but gone are the days of sneaking around taking down targets with stealth. Yes, you can build a character to do this, but that's down to your own choices in upgrades and playstyle. The game is great, but one of its biggest drawbacks, particularly for fans of the series, is its further detachment from the iconic imagery and lore of the Assassin's Creed franchise.
Roaring blades resound so grimly.
Do you agree or disagree? Let me know down in the comments and please help our channel to grow by subscribing now.